Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look at something pretty much all of us do, eating at a restaurant.
Right.
But we're not just, talking about the food itself. We've got this really interesting learning resource here. It's actually designed to help English speakers navigate the whole dining experience.
Mm-hmm. From start to finish.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull out the most useful bits, the kind of insights that can make your next restaurant visit, maybe tonight, maybe next week, just a little bit smoother.
And maybe even reveal some of the, let's say, hidden mechanics behind it all.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite fascinating, actually, to see how a seemingly simple activity gets broken down for language learners.
It really is. And by looking at it this way, we might uncover some unspoken rules or expectations that, well, even fluent speakers don't always consciously think about.
Absolutely. So the source we're using, it's a detailed lesson plan. It's got vocabulary, a sample conversation, all those handy phrases.
That works.
Pretty much. It's like getting a peek behind the curtain,
Mm-hmm.
how we communicate in this really common social setting.
So what's the benefit for our listeners?
Well, beyond just picking up a few phrases, we're hoping to give you a kind of fresh perspective on how these restaurant interactions work. Maybe spark a few aha moments about why certain things are said or done.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with some essential vocabulary. What are the key terms this lesson plan highlights?
Well, one of the first ones is reservation. Booking a table in advance.
Right, standard procedure.
Yeah, and the example they give is straightforward. Hi, I'd like to make a reservation for 2 at 7 p.m. But what's interesting is this sort of implied social contract there.
And so?
Well, a reservation isn't just about getting a spot right. It sets an expectation for the diner, but also for the restaurant, about timing, about capacity.
That's a great point. It's a mutual agreement, really. Availability, time. Okay, what else?
Then you have waiter or waitress. Obvious, maybe, but this example.
Let me guess. Excuse me, waiter.
You got it.
Hey, excuse me, waiter. Could we see the dessert menu?
It highlights more than just who they are. It's about how you initiate that interaction, politely.
Right, that, excuse me, is doing a lot of work there, isn't it?
It really is. It's the standard way to respectfully get someone's attention when they're busy, acknowledging their role.
Makes sense. And the third one?
Specials.
Ah,
The specials.
always tempting.
Always. The example is, today's special is grilled salmon with lemon butter sauce. But it's more than just another dish. It's usually a curated thing.
Yeah, like something the kitchen's excited about, or maybe using seasonal ingredients.
Exactly. Or sometimes, strategically, it's presented with a bit more flair, highlighted.
Right, maybe to move certain ingredients too. Clever. Okay, so that's the vocab. Now, the lesson plan has this sample dialogue.
Ah, yes, the dialogue. This is where you see it all come together. Setting is the Olive Grove Bistro.
Okay.
A couple arrives. First thing the host says, "Good evening. Welcome to Olive Grove Bistro. Do you have a reservation?"
Straight to the point. Reservation first. Shows how important it is for them.
Totally. It sorts things out. Immediately guaranteed table or potentially a wait.
And the response is efficient too.
Yeah.
It's under the name Taylor Table for 2 at 7. Boom. All the info needed.
Yep. Then the next step. Perfect. Right this way. Here are your menus. Can I start you off with something to drink?
Feels like a very standard sequence, almost like a script they follow.
It is a script, but a really important one. Offering drinks quickly, it sets a good tone, maybe gets an earlier sale.
True. And the couple orders.
Simple stuff. I'll have an iced tea, please. And I'll take a lemonade. Notice the please.
Always the please. Politeness counts.
Definitely. Then the server brings up the specials. By the way, our specials tonight are the roasted chicken with garlic mashed potatoes and the vegetarian lasagna.
That, by the way, feels quite natural. Casual insertion.
Yeah, it's smooth, doesn't interrupt the flow too much, which then leads to a really important moment.
The dietary question.
Exactly. One person says, "The lasagna sounds good. Is it made with dairy?" This is so common now, isn't it?
Absolutely. People need to know. It shows the diner has to ask, and the server needs to have the right info.
And the server gives a clear answer. Yes, it has cheese and cream in the sauce. No ambiguity.
Which lets the diner make an informed choice, so they pivot. Okay, I'll try the roasted chicken then.
And the other person orders, "I'll have the spaghetti bolognese, please." Again, that "I'll have" phrasing.
We should probably dig into that phrase a bit more later. It seems key.
We will. It's polite but clear.
Yeah.
Direct but not, demanding.
Got it. And how does the server wrap up the order?
With positive confirmation. Excellent choices. I'll put those orders in right away. It's reassuring. Makes the diners feel looked after.
So, yeah, looking at that whole exchange,
Mm,
it's definitely more than just ordering food. There's this whole layer of politeness, efficiency, getting the right information.
absolutely. Layers upon layers.
Okay, let's break down some of those useful phrases more deliberately. Do you have a reservation? We know it's key, but what about responding?
Well, yes, it's under name is fine, totally clear. But you could also say something like, yes, I have a reservation for 2 at 7 under Taylor. It's a bit more proactive, maybe.
Gives them everything at once. And if you don't have one,
A simple no, we're just walking in works. But maybe follow up with, do you have any tables available? Or what's the wait time like? Keeps the conversation moving.
good point. Be clear, but also manage expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the server's opening line? Can I start you off with something to drink? You said it's like a ritual.
It really is. It sets the pace, gives you a moment to settle with the menu. Responding is easy, yes, I'll have, or just water for now, thanks, or even, no thank you, maybe in a bit. All polite.
Right. And we keep coming back to I'll have for ordering food. Why is that considered the good way to phrase it?
It just hits that sweet spot, you know? It's direct, so there's no confusion. But it's also respectful. It's not blunt, like just barking the dish name. And it's definitely better than demanding, like, give me the chicken.
Or I want the pasta. Yeah, I'll have feels much more like a polite request within a service context.
Exactly. It acknowledges the server is there to help you.
Okay. Now the lesson plan adds a few more phrases to our toolkit, like, could we see the menu?
Oh, yeah. Very practical. Using could we just softens the request. Much better than yelling menu across the room.
Definitely not recommended.
Mm.
And what about dietary needs? Is this dish vegetarian?
Super important, and you can adapt it, right? Does this contain nuts? Is this gluten-free?
Hmm.
Asking about a specific dish is usually more helpful for the server than a very general question.
Yeah, like asking what's gluten-free might get a long answer versus is the grilled salmon gluten-free?
Precisely. Clarity helps everyone.
And then the end game. Can we get the check, please?
Again, the can we or could we makes it polite. Signals you're ready without being demanding. Or even, excuse me, we're ready for the bill when you have a moment.
Still polite, acknowledges they might be busy, avoid the frantic waving.
Please, avoid the frantic waving. A subtle nod or eye contact when they're nearby is usually enough, followed by the polite request.
Got it. And finally, the lesson suggests, thank you, everything was delicious. Why is that little extra bit useful?
It's just nice, isn't it? A simple thanks is fine, but adding that bit about the food being delicious provides specific positive feedback. Restaurants generally appreciate hearing that. Leaves a good final impression.
So when you pull it all together, the big takeaway isn't just about, learning English phrases if you're a learner. It's really about understanding the sort of hidden script, the etiquette of dining out.
Exactly. These phrases aren't just functional, they carry social meaning. They manage the interaction smoothly.
And connecting that idea more broadly. It really shows how much of our daily life relies on these kinds of established routines and shared understandings, social cues.
Knowing these unwritten rules, whether you learned them growing up or had to study them, it boosts confidence. It just makes these everyday things more pleasant, less stressful.
So for you listening, even if English is your first language, thinking about these common interactions, the specific words we use, it can actually sharpen your own communication skills in these settings, make you a bit more mindful.
And that brings up a really interesting point to maybe mull over. How does this whole restaurant dance differ across cultures?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because the basics are the same. Order food, eat food, pay. But the how must vary quite a bit.
Oh, definitely. Think about levels of formality, how you get a server's attention, whether you seat yourself or wait. Even things like tipping customs or how long it's acceptable to linger after the meal, it can be quite different.
That's fascinating. Maybe something to observe next time you're out, whether you're in your usual spot or traveling somewhere new.
Yeah, pay attention not just to the words, but the nonverbal stuff too, the whole rhythm of the service, the interactions between staff and customers.
You might notice cultural communication styles playing out right there at the table, beyond just the menu.
Could offer some really surprising insights.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of eating at a restaurant. Hopefully it gave you a little more food for thought. Thanks for joining us.